Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to share a very personal story about my journey with Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism, one that almost went unnoticed because I thought I was simply experiencing menopause. Like many women in their middle years, I began experiencing sleepless nights, anxiety, and irritability. I almost felt on the verge of depression. I also constantly felt hot and sweaty, with these overwhelming flashes that seemed to come out of nowhere. Additionally, I had lost some weight, which I initially thought was a positive change. To make things even more confusing, I started noticing muscle weakness, which I initially attributed to not exercising enough. On top of that, I had a rapid heartbeat, but I dismissed it as just stress and fatigue, never suspecting there was something more serious going on. It wasn't until a visit to my doctor for a sudden migraine, something I'll cover more in another video, that things took a turn. I remember feeling a bit sweaty and mentioning to the doctor that I had walked briskly for 10 minutes in my raincoat, attributing my sweaty condition to that. The doctor checked my pulse and asked some general questions about my overall health. I mentioned the persistent muscle weakness I had been experiencing for a couple of months. My pulse was still a bit high, prompting him to suggest a blood test to evaluate my thyroid levels. With my Apple Watch on, I started paying close attention to my pulse over the next few days, and I noticed it stayed elevated almost constantly, spiking every time I was active or went for a walk. When the results came back, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism. This wasn't just menopause, but something that required immediate medical attention. I started taking medication and had to undergo blood tests every other month. Thankfully, after a year of consistent management, I could stop the medication. Yet, regular blood tests are still a staple in my routine. The truly alarming part of all this is how easily some of the symptoms mirrored those of menopause. It was a wake-up call for me. So what exactly is happening inside the body when you have hyperthyroidism? Imagine your body's metabolism as a gas pedal that controls how fast your cells work. Normally, your brain carefully regulates this system by sending a signal called TSH to your thyroid gland. The thyroid then produces hormones, mainly T4, which gets converted into T3, that act as your body's gas pedal, speeding up your metabolism. In hyperthyroidism, it's as if that gas pedal is stuck to the floor. Your body's metabolism becomes overactive, and every cell is revving up far more than it should. The most common cause of this is Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder where the immune system creates rogue antibodies. Instead of protecting your body, these antibodies hijack your thyroid gland, forcing it to produce an excess of thyroid hormones. This runaway production triggers a cascade of effects throughout your entire body. Now, what are some of those symptoms? You might experience nervousness, anxiety, and irritability, hyperactivity. You find it hard to sit still, and you've got endless nervous energy, mood swings and difficulty sleeping, feeling constantly tired yet unable to rest, intolerance to heat and excessive sweating, muscle weakness, sometimes diarrhea, frequent urination and heightened thirst, itchiness or skin rashes, loss of interest in sex. Physically, hyperthyroidism can be spotted by signs like swelling in your neck from an enlarged thyroid, known as a goiter, an unusually fast or irregular heartbeat, sometimes with palpitations, tremors or twitching hands, warm, moist skin and excessive sweating, red palms and loose nails, puffy or itchy skin patches called hives, thinning hair or hair loss. And notably, weight loss. Even when your appetite increases, this is a hallmark feature. But perhaps the most distinct and telling signs are those that appear in the eyes. Graves' disease uniquely affects the tissues behind the eyes, causing bulging eyes, known as proptosis, which can become more prominent over time, swelling around the eyes, a noticeable stare because of lid retraction, lid lag, where your eyelid doesn't move smoothly when you look down. This eye involvement sets Graves' disease apart from other causes of hyperthyroidism and can even lead to vision problems if not treated. And don't forget the neck. Since the thyroid gland is at the base of your neck, many signs originate here. You might notice a visible goiter or see a pounding pulse in your carotid artery. Sometimes the enlarged thyroid extends downward into the chest, a condition called Pemberton's sign, which can cause symptoms like redness, vein swelling, and pressure. All of this underscores how hyperthyroidism, especially Graves' disease, is a systemic condition affecting nearly every part of your body. The key takeaway? Recognizing these signs early and understanding that they can often be mistaken for other issues like menopause is crucial because proper diagnosis and treatment can make a world of difference. Here are some insights from women who have faced this condition. I started experiencing panic attacks, a sensation of a lump in my throat, rapid heartbeats, excessive sweat, tremors, and eventually extreme pain and weakness when climbing stairs. 2 different doctors told me it was anxiety and prescribed Xanax. It wasn't until a third doctor asked if I had any worries or stressors that might be upsetting me. I lied and said everything was fine. Only then did he check my TSH levels, which were through the roof. I experience increased anxiety, panic attacks, toe clubbing, unintentional weight loss, a pounding heart at rest, muscle weakness, tremors, and eye pain. People kept telling me it was just general anxiety. Since my mom has hypothyroidism, I had my thyroid checked just to be safe, and I'm glad I did because it turned out to be hyperthyroidism. I've had Graves' disease for the past 4 years, and I'm still managing it, though I'm improving. I found that many symptoms I experienced were true, but not all. Early on, I was very ill, shaking intensely, and losing weight rapidly. My heart would pound so hard I thought it might beat right out of my chest. Thankfully, medications and medical care have made a big difference. Back in 2017, I had Graves' disease. My resting heart rate was dangerously high, I lost a lot of weight without trying, and I would get exhausted just walking upstairs. Luckily, my eyes didn't bulge out, but I'm grateful for the treatments that helped me recover. I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism about 5 months ago. I had severe hair loss, anxiety, weight loss, and other symptoms. Things have settled now. My hair is growing back and my anxiety has improved. Interestingly, my grandmother had it too, so I believe it might be genetic. Recently, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and I've started medication. I think we caught it early, but I'm waiting to see the endocrinologist for the next steps. My symptoms started about a month before my blood tests. Muscle weakness in my upper arms, shoulders, and thighs, which I initially thought was just from exercise. I also had severe heat intolerance, which made me think I was experiencing early menopause. After 2 rounds of tests and antibody analysis, we confirmed it's Graves' disease. These stories highlight just how confusing and alarming the symptoms can be, often mistaken for anxiety, stress, or menopause. It's a reminder that if you or someone you know is experiencing these signs, it's essential to seek proper testing and diagnosis. I'll continue sharing more about my health journey, and if my story resonates with you, please feel free to share it or leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for staying with me today. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights and personal stories.